Pauley Perrette, the irreplaceable icon behind Abby Ciuto, the talented, quirky, and lovable forensic scientist on the hit crime series NCIS, unexpectedly stepped away after 15 years of commitment. The public thought they knew the reason. She needed a more peaceful life. It sounded simple, but some people close to the situation revealed a completely different story. There were allegations of assault, safety violations, and a co-star she feared so much that she had to seek psychological therapy to cope. CBS later offered a settlement they believed would resolve everything. That was until Pauley Perrette confirmed what had actually happened.
When I look at my life, and my life has been crazy. I have had a crazy life.
Pauley Perrette was born on March 27, 1969, in New Orleans. But her childhood wasn't rooted in that city. Her father worked in the railroad industry, which meant the family constantly moved from state to state. By the time she was a teenager, she had lived in 14 different places. She never stayed long enough to feel like she belonged anywhere. But the constant uprooting taught her how to adapt quickly to new situations. Although she was born in Louisiana, she always said Alabama felt more like home. Growing up in so many parts of the South made her incredibly adaptable, something that later helped her survive the volatile world of Hollywood. Even before people knew her as Abby, Pauley had her sights set on fighting crime. As a child, she wasn't into fairy tales or cartoons. She was drawn to true crime stories, and the science used to catch criminals. While most kids dreamed of becoming astronauts or athletes, she talked about joining a rock band, working with animals, or becoming an FBI agent. And she was completely serious about it. After graduating high school, she pursued criminal justice and earned degrees in sociology, psychology, and criminology. She didn't stop there. She moved to New York and began working toward a master's degree at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Her motivation wasn't fame or success. She simply wanted to understand why people hurt others without remorse. That question stayed with her for years. While studying and trying to make a living, something happened that changed her life forever. In the 1980s, while living in Atlanta, she was violently mugged. The details are scarce, but the impact was devastating. It wasn't just a horrifying moment. It became a turning point. Instead of pushing the pain aside, she turned it into motivation. It gave her an even stronger reason to study crime and help others. From that moment on, she became a voice for victims. She used her voice and her growing platform to support those who had been hurt, always remembering what it felt like to be one of them. In Georgia, she studied criminal justice and consistently earned high grades. But when Pauley moved to New York, things became much more difficult. She worked as a bartender in underground clubs, sporting a mohawk and combat boots, fitting right in with the city's eccentric nightlife. She also handed out flyers on roller skates and even cooked on yachts to pay for school. The work wasn't glamorous, but later Pauley would say that all of it gave her an edge. She wasn't just reading about human behavior in textbooks. She was living it every day. The combination of academic knowledge and real-world experience became the perfect foundation for acting, even though she never planned to pursue it. In the deeply conservative Southern world where she was raised, that was surprising. She grew up in a strict church where movies and television were rarely allowed. As a child, she looked like the perfect Southern girl. Blonde pigtails, polite and obedient. But on the inside, she felt different. Tattoos became her way of showing the world she wouldn't live by rules others set for her. Over the years, she collected around 20 tattoos, each representing a piece of her identity. She turned her body into a canvas that defied every expectation she had been raised with. She finally arrived in Hollywood in the 1990s with just $71 in her bank account. She had come from New York, where she bartended in nightclubs and did whatever it took to survive. Things weren't any easier in Los Angeles. She crashed on friends' couches and took any job she could find. She even did voice work for a phone service to pay rent. Acting wasn't a lifelong dream. It was something she stumbled into while just trying to survive. She only pursued it because her original plan, to work in criminology, didn't cover the bills. One of her lowest moments came when she was walking dogs along Sunset Boulevard, surviving on just $5 a day. That may not sound like much, but it led to something special. One of those dogs, a pit bull she rescued off the street, became her beloved Cece. That dog wasn't just a pet. It became part of her story. Years later, when she clashed with a co-star over his aggressive dog, her bond with Cece made the conflict even more meaningful. Her love for animals began during those long walks and became an inseparable part of her life. Since then, she's supported countless animal rescue organizations. Her first break in television didn't come from auditions or agents. It came from overhearing someone talking in a coffee shop. She was sitting nearby when she heard someone mention casting for The Drew Carey Show. That moment led to a small role as a background character named Darcy, which she played in 4 episodes over 2 years. From there, she slowly built her career. She landed roles in shows like Frasier and Murder One, and each role brought her closer to her big break. That random conversation became the turning point that changed her life. In 2000, she made a brief appearance in the film Almost Famous, playing a radio DJ named Alice Wisdom. It wasn't a major role, but it gave her the chance to work with actors like Philip Seymour Hoffman and director Cameron Crowe. A few years earlier, she had starred in a small indie film called The Price of Kissing. These roles weren't blockbusters, but they helped her grow as an actress. Although Almost Famous didn't earn much at the box office, it became a beloved film. Her appearances in those projects proved she had talent and presence long before NCIS made her famous. In 2003, Pauley Perrette walked into her audition wearing oversized Levi's sneakers and a plain white t-shirt. She had her natural blonde hair, looking nothing like the gothic character she would soon become known for. But the moment she entered the room, Donald P. Belisario reportedly said, "That's her." Her friend Kevin Lawson later confirmed that Perrette didn't even need to try very hard. Her caffeine-charged energy, rapid speech, warmth, and love for hugs were enough. Abby wasn't just a role she played, it was simply part of who she was. That energy, that kindness, and that quirky spirit weren't scripted. Pauley was just being Pauley. And that moment changed everything. Abby didn't just join the team. She became the heart of the team. While CBS never officially released data comparing her popularity to other characters, the fans made it clear. Audiences adored Abby. She became a fan favorite, and her role quickly surpassed all expectations. The writers took note of that connection and kept expanding her screen time. By the time Abby left in 2018, she had appeared in every episode since the show's inception. On the NCIS set, the biggest commotion wasn't caused by the cast, but by a stuffed hippopotamus named Bert. Purple, chubby, and making fart noises when squeezed, Bert quickly became a behind-the-scenes star. Originally just a prop, it became so beloved that the producers had to lock it up to keep it from mysteriously disappearing. Bert showed up in numerous episodes, adding humor to the intense crime scenes, just like Abby Sciuto herself, the eccentric yet kind-hearted character brought to life by Pauley Perrette. To viewers, Abby was the soul of NCIS, weird, brilliant, and sincere. But what few knew was that Perrette approached the role like a real scientist. She collaborated with forensic experts, studied DNA analysis, ballistics, and lab protocols so she wouldn't just recite lines, but truly understand the science behind them. When the episode Sea Dog aired in 2003, audiences realized Abby wasn't a role. She was a real presence in a fictional world. Behind the black hair and choker necklace was a heart devoted to her community. Pauley used her fame to help protect those in need, especially veterans suffering from PTSD. She worked closely with the Pups for Patriots program by American Humane, which trains service dogs for veterans. Each dog costs up to $30,000 to train, but she firmly believed that one loyal dog could save a life. From a small prop like Bert to large-scale humanitarian projects, everything reflected the true nature of Pauley Perrette, a devoted, unique woman who never forgot where she came from. In a glittering Hollywood landscape, she never needed scandal or a spotlight. All she needed was a kind heart and the belief that it's our differences that make us truly memorable. Pauley Perrette always believed that NCIS was more than a show. It was a mission to spread compassion. Off-screen, she remained committed to supporting the Pups for Patriots program, helping match more than 160 veterans with PTSD or brain injuries to highly trained service dogs. For her, it wasn't just charity. It was a way to restore dignity and hope to those who had served the country, just as Abby Sciuto always showed deep respect for the military in the show. When NCIS aired its Season 7 finale, the show drew over 20 million viewers in the U.S., surpassing even American Idol that year. Its ratings among the coveted 18 to 49 demographic rose by 25%, making NCIS the most-watched scripted show in America. A victory fueled by Abby, the heartbeat of the series. Along the way, a small detail also became a phenomenon: Abby's Caf Pow drink. Originally just a caffeine prop on set, producers turned it into a bright red energy drink, a signature symbol of the character. 7-Eleven quickly jumped on the idea, launching a promotional campaign that boosted national energy drink sales by 14%. Few people know that Perrette never actually drank Caf Pow. Her cup was filled with cranberry juice, and just like Abby, she never used a stunt double, even when filming in tight morgue spaces, despite her struggle with claustrophobia. One episode, Bête Noire, required her to confront that fear in a critical hostage scene. She didn't hesitate. She pushed through. Even when the set made her feel like she couldn't breathe, the show attributed it to a fear of corpses. But for her, it wasn't the dead bodies. It was the closing walls. Yet she remained in the role for 15 years. She never let fear affect her performance. During her time on NCIS, Perrette also secretly created a webcomic under the pen name P. The comic, Lab Babble, followed the quirky adventures of Abby in the lab. At first, no one knew it was her. The comic carried Abby's humor, scientific quirks, and even featured Bert the Hippo. Eventually, fans caught on. But the most surprising part wasn't the comic itself. It was where the money went. Every cent from ad revenue was quietly donated to animal shelters across the country. It was an act of silent charity no one asked for, but she did it anyway. In 2011, the Guinness World Records awarded Perrette a title no one had ever received before. She was named the most popular female crime drama actress on television. This recognition wasn't based solely on viewership numbers. It came from a Q score, a metric that measures how much audiences actually like a person. Not just the character, her. She outranked actresses from shows like CSI and Law & Order. At the time, NCIS was averaging more than 18 million viewers per episode. But what made her stand out wasn't just her gothic appearance or scientific lingo. It was the way she made people care. In October 2016, everything changed on the NCIS set. Mark Harmon brought his rescue pit bull, Dave, to work, something he had done for years without issue. But that day, something terrible happened. The dog bit a crew member so severely the person needed 15 stitches. The attack was so serious that production had to shut down for 2 hours. It wasn't just a scare. It left lasting physical and emotional trauma. Harmon's lawyer later admitted he had been warned about the risks of bringing the dog back. Still, Dave returned. The once safe, controlled set now carried an undercurrent of fear. The issue didn't go away. It set off a chain reaction that fractured the foundation of the show. Shortly after the attack, Pauley Perrette demanded that CBS never allow Dave near the set again. She was deeply shaken. But when the network allowed the dog to return, she was outraged. In response, she added a strict clause to her season 15 contract. From that point on, she would never appear on screen with Mark Harmon again. To fans, it seemed like a mystery. On camera, they were never seen together. Behind the scenes, filming had to be scheduled around them. Her scenes were shot on different days with separate crews. Production costs increased, and the entire operation became harder to manage. In her final episode, which drew 15 million viewers, they weren't even in the same building. Editors had to carefully stitch together scenes to create the illusion of a connection that no longer existed. Then, in June 2019, Pauley went public. At 6 a.m., she posted a tweet that instantly sent shockwaves across the internet. She said she was terrified of Harmon and had nightmares about him attacking her. She made it clear she would never return to NCIS. Her words didn't come from a press interview or anonymous leak. They were direct, raw, and honest. The internet exploded. Entertainment sites crashed as fans tried to process what she had said. The image of Harmon as a calm, fatherly figure on TV was suddenly shaken. He remained silent. To many, that silence only added weight to her words. What no one knew before was that Pauley had filed 3 separate safety complaints with HR. This wasn't about creative disagreements or salary negotiations. CBS later confirmed that she had raised concerns more than a year before leaving the show. In 2018, she tweeted that she had been physically assaulted multiple times. Her posts hinted at being silenced and blamed a powerful machine for spreading lies about her departure. She said she felt unsafe at work and needed therapy afterward. The fact that she filed 3 different reports showed she had tried to go through the proper channels. It also showed that CBS had multiple chances to take stronger action, but didn't. For Pauley, the workplace had become something she needed to escape, not just walk away from. The most serious moment came when reports revealed she had hired a private investigator. She wasn't just venting. She was gathering evidence. The investigator documented safety violations on the NCIS set, and Pauley used that evidence to pressure CBS into a private settlement. According to multiple sources, CBS paid her somewhere between $5 and $9 million. The issue wasn't a bad script or a pay cut, it was about safety and accountability. The settlement included a strict non-disclosure agreement to keep everything under wraps. At the same time, CBS was under fire for other misconduct cases. They had just paid $9.5 million to Eliza Dushku for harassment on another show. The amount Pauley received showed that her case was serious enough to potentially damage CBS's brand and Mark Harmon's career if the full details ever came to light. 2 years later, Pauley attempted a comeback with a new sitcom called Broke. The show had a promising start. On April 2020, more than 7 million viewers tuned in. But the success didn't last. Ratings declined rapidly. By the end of the 13-episode season, viewership had dropped to just 3.6 million. Among the key 18 to 49 demographic, the show's rating fell to 0.4. That number was far below what networks need to keep a show alive. Critics weren't kind either, calling the series dull and directionless. CBS had hoped to revive her television career, but it ended quietly. After once being one of the biggest stars in primetime television, Pauley's return collapsed under weak ratings and lukewarm reception. Just 2 months after Broke was canceled, Pauley sent out one final message. On July 7, 2020, she tweeted, "I'm finally and happily retired, and this is what I was looking for: peace, life, love, dogs, rainbow freedom." It wasn't just happy news. It was her official retirement from acting. She said that now she only listens to God, animals, and nature. Her rescue dogs, she added, were the only judges she answered to.